Hello everyone out there, this is Scott, and hope everybody had a good weekend, had a safe weekend. We had a lot of bad storms run through the southeast this week, tornadoes. I think last I saw there was like 8 deaths, and my heart and prayers go out to everybody that was affected by this severe weather we had. Luckily where we are, nothing bad happened. As you can see today, it's a beautiful day in the high 70s, just simply gorgeous out, absolutely. The greens are green, the birds are out. Wonderful. Just really like it. Well, I have a couple things I want to talk about today, and one is where I spent the weekend. Last weekend I was up in Waynesville, North Carolina at the Heritage Skills Life Fair. This is a fair put on by the Carolina Prepper Store. I think I got that right. And it's a big event. They put it in the Folk Moot building, which I think is an old schoolhouse. It had a cafeteria, it had a venue, lots and lots of good things, lots of good classes. I learned lots and lots of good things, and hopefully I can share some of this with you in the future. While I was there, I got to chat with Sam Culper from Forward Observer. I've done some work with him in the past, and also with Garvin Forrest of PrepperNet. PrepperNet originally started in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, and he was up there. He had a booth up there. I got to chat with him a little bit. I do contribute a little bit of content to his website, so it was nice for us to get a little FaceTime with each other and get to associate. Anyhow, Heritage Life Skills is really kind of a unique place because they do a couple different things. They have things that are we'll say are prepper minded, and so if you go up there to learn about prepper things, there's lots of good prepper things. They had self-defense, they had food storage, they had first aid, a lot of good things up there. And then the rest of it was kind of a homesteading heritage skills. Some of the classes I took was soap making, and I'll talk about that in a second. Herbal medicine, how to grow it, how to identify it, how to make it into salves, tinctures, or infusions that you can use. I also took a class on essential oils, and I made my own infusion, and later that night I had to use it, and guess what? It worked. So I was pretty happy about that. But an interesting class I took was soap making, and really most of the classes that I took when I was up there were about herbal medicines. I want to get into herbal medicines. I think that's an area where a lot of people aren't doing enough due diligence, because when we talk about this grid down or whatever, I don't get into all that EMP, TEOWAKI, grid down, SHTF. What I get into is if you are prepared, you shall not fear. And it doesn't matter what triggers the event as long as you're prepared. So I look at it as a learning experience, and I learned a lot about making my own medicines, and I thought that was important. And some of the classes I took was about identifying plants in my area that I could use to make the medicines or make the remedies I need for myself and my family and my community. So it's very informative, and I've got a lot going on with that. But on a whim, I took a soap making class, and it was so about taking it. I mean, soap is soap, but it was a 3-hour class, and I wanted to take it because I wanted to at least get an idea. My thoughts going into it was, I'll take the class, I'll take a bunch of notes, I'll print the notes, I'll put them in a notebook, and then I'll put it up on a bookcase. Well, I had a lot of fun in that class. The teacher was great. A lady out of North Florida came all the way up there. We made soap. We learned how to make the soap, and I had a lot of fun. And I walked away from there wanting to make more soap. And so in the future, I am going to make soap the way she taught us, and she taught us a couple different ways to make a couple different kinds of soap, and I've got several different recipes. So when I gather all the few things I need to make the soap, I'm going to make soap. That was a lot of fun. I made some salves and tinctures and infusions, and that was a lot of fun. I learned a lot about that, so I'll be making some more of that, and hopefully I can share with you. Um, but while I'm here, one of the things I wanted to talk about that was a, kind of an undertone, going on throughout the fair is a lot of people were talking about bugging out, leaving, packing your bags, having a bug out bag. And I am, that's not necessarily my gig. And there's a couple of us out there that really believe that your bug out location is where you currently live. If you think your bug out location is somewhere else, then you need to move. And that is my philosophy, that my bug out location is where I live, because this is where I have all my preps, this is where I have my water, my food, everything I need, and the most of it is right here where I live in my house. Now, we talk about bugging out, again, that undercurrent, people talk, oh, I'm going to grab my bug out bag and I'm going to walk out the back door, you'll never see me again. Well, an in shape, young Army soldier can carry 100 plus pounds on his back. And that is somebody who has been trained to carry that weight and who practices carrying that weight. Realistically, I think if a lot of people can get up to 50 or 60 pounds, and some of that's your loadout gear, your weapon, magazines, whatever you want to carry, that's a lot of weight. And we don't practice that, and we don't do it. And so when I look at that, when I look at all the stuff that's in my house versus what I can, what I can put into a 50-pound pack, there's a lot to be said about staying where you are, where you have all your stuff. The other thing that people don't talk about, and I make comments about it all the time when someone says, oh, I'm going to bug out, I'm going to grab my bob and head out the door. Well, I say my bob is my pickup truck. Because in my pickup truck, I can carry at least 1,200 pounds of food, put another 1,000 pounds on the trailer, plus I can travel further. On a half a tank of gas in my truck, I can travel over 200 miles, and I try to keep my gas tank half full or more. On a full tank, I can travel over 400 miles. And I can do it fast. The most economical speed range for my truck is 60-65 miles an hour. I can cover 500 miles in one day easy. I figure the most I can walk, if I walk by myself, I can cover maybe 20. If I walk with my family, maybe half of that. And so when people talk about, oh, I'm going to grab my bob, well, for me, I take my bob and I put it in the back seat of my pickup truck, and I get in my pickup truck and I leave. Now someone says, when I talk about my home being my bug out location, and people say, oh, well, you should, be ready to go. Well, I am ready to go. I keep a lot of my stuff packed in 14-gallon tubs, and I work out of those tubs. So it's the same stuff I use every day, and I'm a proponent of that. I do not like people who take stuff, put it in a tub, and never look at it for 10 years. Because what happens when you do that is at the end of 10 years, you don't know what the inside of that tub is going to look like. I mean, does it still work? Did the moths get to it? Did the mice get to it? I once had a mouse chew through one of those Rubbermaid Action Packer plastic tubs, which is thick. And a mouse actually chewed for it, got inside and wreaked havoc with the tub. And I didn't see it because he chewed a hole in the back, where I had it stored. I couldn't see it. So by working out of my tubs and using them all the time, I'm in the stuff. I know the condition. I know, if I use too much of one thing, I know to replenish it. And so that's important. So yeah, I have a plan. My first plan is to stay put, to stay where I am. However, if things deteriorate to the point where I have to leave, I have a plan for that too. But my plan is to stay with a contingency plan to move, not plan to move, as my plan A. You know, moving for me is plan B or plan C. Plan A is stay where I am because I've got all my stuff here that I can use. So I hear a lot of this, and you all may have your, you know, whatever you feel. I know some of you guys that live in the cities, that live in apartments, yeah, you're kind of, you know, you're kind of stuck. I understand that. And then your plan A is to move, and that's probably a good move, but really your plan A should be move now. Find a place out of the city now. And then make moving your plan B and staying put your plan A. But, you know, I can't tell you what to do, but that's up to you. For me, I want to stay where I am because this is where I have all my stuff, all my good stuff. Whenever I move, I am degrading my capability to survive because I have less stuff. You know, if you're humping it on your back, you can only carry so many bullets. You can only carry so much water. You can only carry so much food. You know, at home, I can stay here. I can stay here in my home for a long time before I have to worry about any outside resupply. So that was my thoughts about bugging out, you know, versus bugging in. And yes, you know, bug in, but have a plan to bug out. And then, you know, have a plan to bug out from your bug out. You know, you have a, to quote another YouTube person from Viking Preparedness, he uses the acronym PACE, which is have a primary, alternate, contingency, and emergency plan for everything. And that's not bad. You know, an example might be, my primary plan is to stay put. My alternate plan is to go to another location which I have identified. My contingency plan might be grab the essentials, in other words, a hasty retreat, and do that, you know, where I wouldn't be able to fill up my truck with the 1,200 pounds with a 1,000-pound trail. I may be able to throw a handful of tubs in the truck and go. Maybe the zombies are, you know, at my back gate heading towards the house and I got to go now. And then my emergency plan would be my BOB, my bug out bag. And that's my emergency plan. That means not only are the zombies at my back gate, but they're banging on the back door, and I've got to exit out the front door with whatever I have on my back. So that's an example. You know, you develop your plan which you feel comfortable with. You know, as you can tell, I'm a white beard now. I'm a little long in the tooth, so you know the idea of me humping a pack, a 60-pound pack, a very long distance is not my plan. Excuse me, my dogs are knocking my stand here, but you know, you got to take that into consideration. For you guys that are older, maybe not as old as me, but a little bit older, you know, that 100-pound pack is now going to feel like 200 pounds, especially if you're not, you know, working out with it. So, you know, practice your stuff. Practice loading up, getting out. Anyhow, at the end of this, I do want to give a shout out to Sam Culper and Garvin Forrest of PrepperNet. I hope you guys are doing well. For you guys that are, you know, that are on my channel, glad to have you with us. You're always welcome. You know, I do this stuff not for me, but I do it for you to help you guys, you know, maybe at least get some ideas on what you might want to do. Am I saying do exactly what I do? No, I'm not. But what I'm saying is get a plan, take some of what I do and apply it to yourselves. Again, if you like what you see, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You know, and come join us. I try to put content out. I know I didn't put out a whole lot this past week because I was busy. We are in the process of a move. We are moving further out in the country. I'm getting a little more rural, getting a little more acreage, getting a little more opportunities to do the things we like to do. So I'll be a little more intermittent, but you know, I do care about you guys out there. You know, that's why I do these videos, just to kind of help you along, to help you, that I can at least pass along some of the things that I've learned over the years. I've been prepping probably for almost 50 years. You know, future videos I may talk about, I may get into communications. I've been a ham radio operator for almost 25 years. Did a lot of emergency communications. I do a lot of different things, and so hopefully I can share these with you. Anyhow, subscribe, comment below, have fun. We'll see you out there. Be safe, be secure. Bye.